everyone, my name is Janina. Welcome back to my channel. Today I would like to share with you some of my favorite boys love manga that I have read in 2019. Not all of these were published in 2019, but I read all of them in 2019. Like most of these are quite new still, like maybe 2 or 3 years old. These are some that I truly liked, where I liked the stories or the characters and didn't have all the tropes and cliches that a lot of other boys love manga have. So yeah, without further ado, let me share with you some of my favorite boys love manga that I read in 2019. So the first one I have here is Love Nest by Minazuki Yu, and we have our main character who is just freshly out of a bad relationship where he was very in love with the guy, but the guy treated him really badly, and our main guy has like this friend who kind of wants to help him get back to his feet, and he offers him a place to stay because that friend of his has an apartment. Our main character can live there as well to like kind of get back into his life and everything. But in this apartment another guy lives, and they kind of meet, and obviously because they're going to live together now, even though our main character is very heartbroken throughout most of the manga, we slowly see him open up and kind of show his character more to this other guy that he's now living with. And it was really nice to read because it felt a little bit different than a lot of other boys love manga. The relationship these two guys have felt very mature because they talk a lot about their lives and their work and everything, and they slowly come closer together. And the twist at the end was a little bit weird in my opinion, but not too bad still. I really liked this one because we have still like this homey feeling where they both live together and get to know each other, and that really felt sweet. And the guy who already lives in the apartment is really interesting, and he's like a little bit on the colder side and wants to take his time with everything, and it felt really nice to read something like that. So yeah, that's the first one. So the next one I have here is actually like a two-part thingy because we have a parent story and then we have like the spin-off story, and I like the spin-off story better, but I can still recommend both of them because I think it's better to read the main story and then go into the spin-off. So the main story is called Akaito no Shiko Yuyo, and the spin-off is called Kanawa no Koi no Musubikata, and both of them are by the mangaka Yoshino Akira. So in the first one, in the main story, we have this guy who can see his own red string of fate, and he has not found his like fated partner, but one day his red string of fate is actually connected and it's to a guy, and the main character is so devastated by that because he never felt any romantic feelings towards men. And then we follow him trying to cut off this red string of fate so he's not connected anymore to his fated partner. And that's where the spin-off comes into play, because the guy that he's looking for to cut off this red string is actually our main character in the spin-off. The main character in the spin-off is somebody who can see the red string of fate himself and makes it his like small business to cut off the red string of fate so people are not connected to their fated partner anymore. He himself though is not connected to anyone because he has no red string of fate. That was so interesting. That's why I like the spin-off a little bit better. In the main story, you have this guy who really wants to push his fated partner away because he's a guy, and he comes to terms with that and like his attraction to another guy and everything, and I like that well enough. But that's something that I read a lot of times already in boys love manga, and in the spin-off it felt so interesting having this guy fall in love actually with another dude, but they're not connected by a red string of fate. This couple is so nice. I love them so much because they're both so like they love each other so very much, but they feel like they can show it very well because they are afraid that they would hurt the other person by it if they say actually like I'm in love with you, and the other would not like take it seriously. It's so nice. It was like dramatic but on a really good side, and it ended on a really good note. I loved them very, very much. The art style of this manga is absolutely stunning. It was so nice. Highly recommend it. Then the next one I have here is Liquor and Cigarettes by Zaria Ranmaru, And that is a little bit different from what I normally read, I think, because we follow two people who I think live in Italy, or was it Spain? I don't know, Italy or Spain. And one of them has a liquor store and one of them has a cigarette store. And the guy who owns the liquor store doesn't actually drink any alcohol at all because he has like no alcohol tolerance, just like me. It's really interesting because people in the town that they're living in have like this wine festival once a year where everyone tries wine. Who drank the most wine like is like the winner, and he kind of gets pushed into being at that festival and trying all that wine, even though he has no alcohol tolerance, but people expect it of him because he owns the liquor store. It sounds a little bit weird, I know, but anyway, so the owner of the cigarette store kind of tries to help the liquor store owner to get a little bit used to drinking alcohol. So they sit together like once per week and drink wine together, and they slowly get closer and closer, and it's so soft, it's so nice, and it's really nice as well just because it's not set in Japan, but we have this European feeling about it, and it was so beautiful. The art is absolutely stunning. I love like the artist just in general. She draws so wonderful. If you just want to read like a one-shot which is not set in Japan and where the guys get closer and closer but very slowly, but still like are quite intimate with each other, I think this will be for you. Then the next one I have here is Konomi ja Nakato by Mita Homura, and this has about 2 volumes actually, and oh my god, I was so surprised by this because I was not a huge fan of the art at first, but the story made up for that so very much because we have our main dude who's like this very calm and collected guy who has a dad who owns a company for like metal work. And at one point his father like turns very sick, and he as the son has to take over that business. And he has no idea about like how metal workers are and what kind of business it is, because he was just like a normal salary worker, and he gets like suddenly dumped into this kind of work, and he's very like overwhelmed by everything, but he really tries his best. And he gets into this workshop where all the metal workers work, and the team is like not very like happy with him at all because they know he's just like there as a substitute for his dad, and nobody likes him and everything. But we have like the boss of the metal workers, and he as well is kind of not that happy about it. But at one point they find out that they're both gay, and they get involved a little bit, but very, very slowly, because the main character said like at the beginning like, you're not my type at all, but they still fall in love with each other, and it's so sweet because what I really liked about it is that they were both very confident in their sexuality. They both know that they're gay man, and they're fine with it, and they know what they like, and they know what they're attracted to and what not. And that's something that you really not see a lot in boys love manga, because a lot of it is like young boys struggling with their sexuality, and that's totally fine. That's great. That's very normal that teenagers struggle with that, or even adult men or whatever. But to see this in the boys love manga, that both of these men are very confident in their sexuality and very comfortable with it, it was so refreshing to read, and how they get slowly together, and how their relationship is super sweet. And we kind of see how the main character gets more confident in his own work, and how he gets more knowledge about what he does with all the metal works and stuff. So it was really nice. I really liked it. Highly recommend it if you want something where the guys don't struggle at first with who they are and what they like. Then the next one I have here is Kami-sama Darling by Kyoko Aiba. I read almost all of these volumes now. I still haven't read volume 7, but I loved this a lot. It's so very funny. It's just about a guy who falls in love with a god and vice versa. There's actually not much else about it except for their like daily lives and how other gods come visit them, and like shenanigans, and it's a lot of comedy in here. There's a lot of fluffiness, and the drama that is in here I didn't take too seriously, to be honest. because this is just ridiculous. Like, this is just so funny, and the art is absolutely stunning. If you like stuff with gods and with a lot of humor and with not a lot of drama that you take too seriously, I think this is something that you would really enjoy. It's an ongoing series. I don't know how many volumes it's going to have, but I can highly recommend it. I enjoyed this very much. If you like supernatural stuff, but with not too much supernatural elements, I guess, because like, even though he's a god, there's not much happening in like the supernatural realm, but he's a god. So anyway, if you like that, this is for you. Then the next one I have here is On Doorstep by CTK, and in one of my manga hauls I gushed about On Doorstep because I love this so very much. We follow Jimmy, who is a little pickpocket thief, and he gets caught by Reese, who is an ex-police officer, and to make up for being caught as a thief, Reese pushes him into working at a bookstore just for like short term, so he doesn't take him to the police. And this is just what we follow, like how they get to know each other and how Jimmy falls in love with him, and it's so beautiful. I love this so very much. It's very mature. The twist in this is a little bit weak in my opinion, but just everything else around this, like how the characters are and everything, really makes up for it. I love the art. It's so beautiful. Like, this is kind of one of my favorite art styles of all time. Highly, highly recommend it. Please buy this if you can. It's so wonderful. I was so happy that they translated this to German so I could buy it. Absolutely beautiful. And the last manga that I have here that I read in 2019 that I really, really liked is Toritan by Yamamoto Kotetsuko. Oh my god, this is like beautiful. This is still ongoing. It has only 12 chapters because the mangaka writes like 7 ongoing manga right now, I think. She's like continuously pushing out new manga. I don't know how she does it. But Toritan is more on the really soft boys love side. It's nothing explicit. It's just really sweet and absolutely adorable. So we have our main guy, and he can talk to birds. He can talk to them and know what they're saying, and it's annoying him to no freaking end, and we just follow him, how he's annoyed by birds and pigeons and everything, and it's so funny. It's so freaking funny. He is actually like a guy for everything in the little town that he lives in. Like, he is doing like plumbing for someone, or like repair work, or like doing the groceries for the neighbors and everything. So he doesn't really have like a full-time salaryman kind of job. And in his favorite cafe, there's like a young guy that he meets again and again, and he really likes coming to that cafe. But one day he's like out and about and he meets a crow, and the crow is talking to him. Obviously, like, the crow is so cool. Like, the main character thinks the crow is so very cool, and it's like, oh my god, that crow is so freaking cool, and he likes it so very much, and he really wants to meet that crow again and again. And it's hilarious because he kind of gets like this crush on this crow, and I don't want to say any more because it will take away from the story, because there's not much out yet. But it's so hilarious. If you just want something light and fluffy on the non-explicit side and more on the little bit supernatural, funny side, this is it for you. This is so wonderful. I recommended it to a lot of my friends, and it's so funny. Like, the birds in this and like his interactions with the birds, that's all you have to read it for. It's absolutely wonderful. I loved it. Like, just in general, Yamamoto Kotetsuko, like the mangaka, just read everything by her. I think I read almost all manga by her. I think I still have to read like 1 or 2. Highly recommend like all her stuff. It's absolutely amazing. Honto Yaju, please read that if you haven't already. And like, just generally, her stuff is one of my favorites. Her art is wonderful. Her stories are really nice. The characters have like a lot of personality and are very well fleshed out, and I adore her. She's one of my favorite mangaka. So yes, that was enough rambling about boys love manga. Oh my god. I hope you found something that you will maybe like to read as well. And if you did already read them, please let me know and what you thought about them. I hope this video maybe helped you a little bit about like finding what you would like to read in the future. I will just stop here now because I will just start rambling about manga again. I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope you're all doing well, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!